Most preppers are stockpiling the wrong thing, and it's the exact thing a former Ranger would laugh at. I'm going to show you the exact Harbor Freight tool in a few minutes, and why men who've actually slept in the dirt keep one closer than their rifle cleaning kit. And the biggest mistake civilians make with survival gear? It's not buying cheap gear. It's buying gear that only solves one problem. But the part that hit me hardest, this thing costs about $17, fits where most people waste space, and it can do a job that makes a fancy $180 survival kit look like a toy aisle mistake. Because when things go bad, you do not rise to your gear list. You fall to what works fast, cold, tired, and in the dark. And wait until you hear what this tool can do on night one when everybody else is still digging through pouches and zippered organizers. Here's the truth. Most survival kits are built to impress people online. Lots of pockets. Lots of little widgets. Ferro rod, wire saw, tiny compass, mini fishing hooks. 50 things you won't touch in the first 6 hours of a real emergency. But a real emergency is not a YouTube flat lay. It's stress. It's noise. It's rain. It's your hands shaking because the power's out, your truck's stuck, your wife's asking questions, and the gas station line looks like a riot in slow motion. If you miss this, you become the guy standing in a parking lot at 3 a.m. with a premium kit full of junk and no way to solve the problem in front of you. And look, that's not because you're stupid. It's because most gear is sold to your fear, not your reality. A retired Special Forces medic told me once, the first tool you reach for under stress should solve 3 bad problems, not 1 perfect problem. That is the whole game. Tonight, I'm breaking down the 7 reasons this Harbor Freight tool beats a $180 survival kit sold to civilians every day. 7 is about speed. 4 is what makes it worth carrying. 2 is the reason former infantry guys stash it where nobody sees it. And 1 is the ugly truth about survival gear nobody in the industry wants to say out loud. This is going to sound backwards, but stay with me, because the reason it works has nothing to do with looking prepared. 7. It solves a real problem in the first 60 seconds. When most people say survival, they picture fire starting and water filtration. That's movie thinking. Real survival starts with one question: what can you fix right now without thinking? The tool I'm talking about gives you leverage. Fast, dirty, immediate. That matters more than another little tin packed with Tinder tabs and sewing needles, because in the first hour of a bad night, your problems are almost never romantic survival problems. They're mechanical problems. Jammed doors, bent metal, crushed battery terminals, a busted latch, a stubborn crate, a nailed shut panel, a tire issue getting worse because you can't move one thing out of the way. A fancy kit gives you tiny answers. This tool gives you force. A former Marine motor pool mechanic I interviewed put it plain, out in the real world. The man who can pry, separate, or break free wins time. He told me about a winter roadside breakdown after an ice storm. 3 guys had glow sticks, space blankets, and a $200 emergency pack. He had one ugly hand tool under the seat. Guess whose truck actually got moving? And the craziest part? Most people would walk right past this thing because it doesn't look tactical. That brings us to hack 6, and this is where civilians start wasting money. 6. It beats survival kits because it's not delicate. Here's what nobody tells you about most box survival kits: they're built for shelf appeal. Tiny tools, thin metal, fold-out gimmicks, plastic handles. Little parts you can lose in dead leaves at dusk. The Harbor Freight tool I'm talking about is dumb simple. And that's exactly why it wins. No batteries, no menus, no tiny hinges, no modular system. You grab it and go to work. When you're cold, You need gross motor tools, not fine motor tools. You don't want to pinch, twist, unscrew, unfold, and assemble. You want to hit the problem once hard and change the situation. Let that sink in. The gear industry keeps selling complexity to men who will lose dexterity the second adrenaline and cold show up together. A friend who served 2 tours in Iraq said the best field gear was usually the ugliest gear, because ugly gear gets used, abused, and trusted. He said the shiny stuff stayed clean in pouches. The beat-up stuff rode in trucks, got loaned out, got filthy, and kept earning its place. And wait until you hear #4, because that's the part that turns this from a truck tool into a true survival multiplier. But first, 5, and this is where price fools people. 5. Cheap is not the same thing as low value. A lot of men hear Harbor Freight and instantly think disposable. Sometimes that's fair. But sometimes cheap means available, and available beats perfect every single time. If a tool costs around $17, you can buy one for the truck, one for the garage, one for the barn, maybe even one for your daughter's car without feeling stupid. That changes behavior. Preparedness is not about owning one beautiful thing. It's about having the right thing where the emergency actually happens. A $180 kit in your closet is not helping you in a blackout at the gas pump. A $17 tool under the seat might. A retired Army logistics enso told me preparedness isn't about premium gear. It's about distribution. One tool in the right place beats 5 tools in the wrong building. He laughed when he said it, but he was right. He'd seen civilians spend a fortune on one ultimate bag and still have nothing in the tractor, nothing in the truck, nothing in the shop. Remember, when systems wobble, stores empty fast, roads clog faster, and you don't get bonus points for owning the expensive option. Now, #4. This is the part most people miss entirely. 4. It creates options when the plan breaks. Your survival plan is only good until something heavy, stuck, or blocked shows up. And it will. This tool gives you entry, separation, leverage, and persuasion. That means one object can help you open, lift, pry, shift, scrape, break, wedge, and hammer. That is what you want in a collapse moment, not a specialized gadget, but a tool that creates options. If your trunk won't open, you have a problem. If a crate won't budge, you have a problem. If a window needs to give, a latch needs help, a board needs lifting, a stuck panel needs convincing, now you understand why this beats a little survival tin. A former ranger I spoke with called this kind of tool an argument settler. Not because it's glamorous. Because when the environment says no, leverage changes the answer. He told me he learned early that survival is rarely about having gear. It's about changing the physical world fast enough to stay ahead of panic. That closes one of the opening loops. The biggest civilian mistake is buying gear that solves one neat problem instead of one tool that solves 5 ugly ones. And #3 is where this gets really uncomfortable because it exposes something a lot of preppers do not want to admit. Let's go there. 3. Most men buy gear for identity, not utility. This is going to sting a little. A lot of survival gear is costume gear. Not all of it, but a lot. It looks ready. It photographs well. It signals competence. But in a real mess, it doesn't move weight, create leverage, or force access. This Harbor Freight tool does. That's why former military guys often carry boring tools civilians ignore. Experience strips ego out of the gear decision. If it works, it stays. If it fails, it goes. No romance, no fantasy. A former Marine Scout sniper told me the men who lasted longest in hard conditions were not gear fanatics. They were friction reducers. They carried things that made bad situations easier, faster, quieter, and simpler. He said one guy carried a fancy survival card in his wallet for a year and never used it once. Another kept one ugly hand tool in his vehicle and used it 3 times in a month. Ask yourself which one is real preparedness. And if you've bought some goofy gear before, welcome to the club. Most men have. The point is not guilt. The point is correction, because 2 explains why experienced guys hide this tool instead of showing it off, and that reason tells you everything. 2. The best survival tools live where nobody brags about them. Here's something civilians get backwards. The most important gear is usually not in the bug-out bag Instagram shot, it's in the truck door, under the rear seat, behind the toolbox, wrapped in an old rag so it doesn't rattle. Why? Because the best tools are the ones you can reach before you start your speech about preparedness. Former rangers, mechanics, ranchers, and old-school tradesmen all understand the same thing. Gear placement matters as much as the gear itself. If the tool is buried under 10 survival items, it's not your first-line answer. It's dead weight. One former infantry platoon sergeant told me he keeps his most useful tools where his hand goes naturally in the dark. If I have to think, I already lost time. He said he watched civilians overpack bags so badly they turned every emergency into a scavenger hunt. Meanwhile, old hands reached once and solved the problem. That closes another opening loop. Yes, this is the kind of thing veterans hide in trucks for decades. Not because it's secret, because it works. And it's always there. And now we get to 1. The actual tool. The exact reason it beats the fancy kit, and why once you hear it, you'll never look at survival gear the same way again. 1. The tool is a 24-inch Harbor Freight pry bar. Here it is. The tool is a 24-inch pry bar, the kind you can grab at Harbor Freight for around $17, depending on the sale and location. Not sexy. Not tactical. Not Instagram bait. A pry bar. That closes the main loop from the opening. And here's why it beats a $180 survival kit. Because in the real world, a pry bar gives you mechanical advantage, and mechanical advantage solves problems faster than novelty gear ever will. With a solid pry bar, you can force stuck materials apart, lift weight just enough to free trapped gear, help break access points in a genuine emergency, pull nails, shift obstacles, open damaged crates, scrape, hammer, wedge doors, and create space where there was none. That is survival. Not the fantasy version. The physical version. A retired Green Beret once said something I never forgot. Nature doesn't care about your gadgets. Physics does. That's why a pry bar wins. It lets your body do more than your body alone can do. A man I know kept one in an old pickup for years, not because he was a prepper, because he lived in the real world. One storm, one blocked gate, one frozen panel, one jammed trailer latch, one battery compartment that wouldn't open. That ugly bar kept proving itself while expensive kits sat zipped shut. And that's the part that bothers people. Because once you understand it, you realize half the survival market is selling accessories to men who still don't have enough leverage. But there's one more reason this tool matters, and nobody talks about it. A good tool does more than solve a problem. It changes how you think when the problem shows up. If you know you can force, lift, separate, or access what's in front of you, your brain gets quieter. You stop spiraling. You stop freezing. You start acting. That matters more than people admit. Because panic grows in men who feel helpless. Action starts in men who feel equipped. A former Navy corpsman told me the biggest survival advantage isn't gear. It's reducing hesitation. The right tool kills hesitation. That's what this ugly $17 pry bar does. It doesn't make you look prepared. It makes you useful. And in a real emergency, useful men get through the night. So no, I'm not telling you to throw away every survival kit. I'm telling you this: Before you buy another zipper pouch full of tiny gadgets, make sure you own the boring tool that can actually change the situation in front of you. Because when the grid drops, when the road is blocked, when the panel won't move, when the latch is frozen, when the trunk jams, when something heavy needs just 1 inch of lift, your little ultimate kit will not save you. That pry bar might. And in my next video, I'm breaking down the 5 boring truck tools old school veterans keep hidden that suburban preppers never think to carry, including one item under $9 that can get you home faster than a full bug-out bag. And almost nobody talks about it.